Good morning, kids. Today we're checking out a brand new video from True Green 7 about turning more memes into new Fakemon. Let's hop in.
Hey guys, Ron here, and a couple of months ago I made a video where I turned memes into Pokemon. Since memes are such a universal concept by now, you bet your bottom dollar that you guys demanded a part 2. Y'all know at least 4 memes, and hopefully those are the ones that made it into the video. If you enjoy, make sure to leave a like and let me know which memes you'd like to see in Pokemon form for a potential part 3. Since I'm taking my time developing my new region, there's a chance some of these will make it onto my fan region. Let's see if any of these are realistic enough to believably work in the Pokemon world. Some will be faithful to the memes, while others will adapt their concepts into new designs.
Is that Harambe?
Let's begin with a meme that is actually super easy to translate into a Pokemon. This is Fine Dog. In this comic, a dog is delusionally fine with his house burning down. This meme is used to convey ignorance about the terrible stuff unfolding around us. You know, when current events indicate that bad things are happening, but people are still reassuring themselves that things are fine. It's a pretty popular meme. It lasted more than 10 years by now, so it's pretty good to start off with. What makes it an even better candidate for a Pokemon is the fact that it's already an animal associated with the Pokemon type. So we're gonna make a fire dog. Based on the proportions of the dog in the comic, I'm thinking...
Oh, hey, you're making a hot dog!
of making a middle stage fire starter Pokemon, like Pignite or Monferno, an in-between evolution. So I'm going to use all the conventions of middle stage fire starters to make this Pokemon. So I'm going to assume that the Prevo for this Pokemon is a cute quadrupedal fire dog that evolves into this bipedal dog. The facial features of the original comic are extremely cartoony. I mean, we see both eyes even though the dog is looking to the side, so one eye for this Pokemon is enough. Its ears are blowing in the updraft of the fire on its neck. Originally I put fire on its head too, but that's overkill. It just has fur that looks like fire. The concept is that its Prevo is fine with everything that is going around, but as it evolves, it slowly realizes it must take action. So this guy is noticing the problem, but is still not panicking. It's alert. I thought the fire neck didn't really mesh with the arms, and honestly, this guy is based on a very simple cartoon character, so I don't want to complicate it. I'm gonna give it a fire tail and some flame patterns, refining the sketch and then adding the colors.
It does look like it has pants on now.
The Fine Dog's yellow with burn marks. The eyes will be closer to the meme in the final version. Say hi to Contember, the composed Pokemon.
There it is.
A fire type. Contember's flame grows as danger increases. This accurate measure of the situation gives Contember the foresight and ample time before things get rough. They are calm and collected in the face of adversity. They only get anxious on rainy days when their abilities are stifled, making them unable to sufficiently respond to any possible crisis. After successfully taking care of trouble, Contember will celebrate with roasted berries and beans. It shares food with smaller Pokemon. Contember has the ability Blaze and hidden ability Own Tempo. An inverse shiny felt appropriate. It was tough trying to find details to add to a very simple cartoon without making it feel over-designed. I think I succeeded in making a middle stage starter that doesn't feel too awkward and gives you hope for its final evolve form.
Yeah, I say you did well. Hold on folks, we'll be right back. And we're back.
Next is a personal favorite of mine, Dat Boy. It's literally just an image or GIF of a frog on a unicycle. Yes, I say GIF, by the way. I'm that kind of person. Whenever it shows up, you simply say, "Here come Dat Boy!" followed by, "Oh, what up?" Like, only positive vibes for this meme. It wasn't a long-lasting meme, and it's definitely the least recognizable, at least one here, considering you can't really use it often. It's an ironic joke, but when it was popular, it was such a force of good. So I'm gonna make a frog on a unicycle. Now, the only way a wild creature would have such a vehicle would be if it made a rudimentary wheel out of wood. That makes even more sense if it could control plants, so a grass frog on a wooden unicycle is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give it Daredevil motifs, not Marvel's Daredevil, but stuntmen like Evel Knievel. Let's hop to it. We're making a frog on a unicycle. The first task is to give it a personality. I like the idea that this Pokemon embodies the joy of those that enjoy its presence. It loves to perform and others love to see it perform, but I've never had to deal with such...
It's like a traveling jester or minstrel.
Tricky proportions though. I did not know how long I wanted the legs and arms to be. I wanted its hands and feet to look like lily pads. Its unicycle won't have a seat. I don't want the technology to look too advanced. But before finishing the wheel, let's focus on the Pokemon itself. I'm going to give it a leaf pattern that mimics the classic cross on Evel Knievel's suit, along with leaves in the back that look like a cape. Then we're finalizing the wheel to illustrate how it's made of a log and some twigs held together with twine and roots. Then the colors are exactly what you'd expect them to be. It's a grass frog, for crying out loud. Here comes that boy! Petal-Leap, the showman Pokemon. A grass type. Petal-Leap are skilled
Dude, look at the eye and the shiny. It goes from yellow to like this majestic purple. I love it.
Performers and craftsmen.
Oh, you know what you should have done for the shiny? You should have done like the Kamala route. Like instead of it being in a different colored coat and eye, it's a different colored wooden wheel. Haha. Okay, there you go.
They use their sharp leaf limbs to cut down young trees, turning their logs into wheels. They attach pedals made of branches and roots to create wooden unicycles, which they ride through the forest. Pedaleep is able to jump incredibly high while on its unicycle, performing tricks mid-air. The most skilled Pedaleep make their way to towns, where they perform for food and gifts. They love the attention and would even perform for free. Everybody in town celebrates the arrival of Pedaleep. They hibernate during the winter. Their return to civilization marks the beginning of spring. They have the abilities Lightning Rod, Vital Spirit, and Infiltrator. They have a signature move called Wooden Wheel, a grass-type version of Rollout. Ever since I had the idea for this series, I wanted to make a Dat Boy Pokemon, but it was too obscure for the first video, so I pushed it back to this episode. It has the exact energy I imagined it would.
But
right before the pandemic, coffin dance appeared. These Ghanaian pallbearers dancing while carrying a coffin was paired up with the infectious EDM track Astromania, creating another meme to vibe to. Like, it's about death, but you can't help but have a good time with such a banger of a track and video. It's usually used as a punchline to respond to any kind of fail, implying that the person died, but how do we turn this into a Pokemon? I'm thinking of making this Ghost Steel type pallbearer Pokemon that carries a coffin and looks super fly. People don't use that word. Like the most dripped out pallbearer you've ever seen. One of these humanoid Pokemon with patterns inspired by the dancers in the video. You'll learn its lore once you see the final product. Originally, the fake one was short and stout with a head in the shape of those hats, but it looked like a vague food mascot. I needed something way cooler, so I made the head way more aerodynamic and gave it these patterns that the hats of the dancing pallbearers had, combined with the sunglasses, which also looks like the bandages of a mummy. But at this point, I also made the mouth consist of this pattern as well, which made it look like a sad automaton. This inspired a more slender and robotic body, but I knew since the beginning that I wanted this Pokemon to look cool and drippy. So I inverted the design. Instead of a black suit with a white shirt underneath, I gave it this white flowing cloth over a black body. It'll make it look holy and ornate like a bishop.
I actually like that idea very well.
It's a ghost type, so this flowing gauze makes sense. Broad shoulders with hands behind the back, a badass pose. The body is inspired by Bisharp and Ceruledge. I like the idea that this Pokemon is closely related to both of them. Its boots also give it this flamboyant vibe, which helps contrast with the more conservative looking upper body. It's inspired by a guy with a boombox too. I'm adding more of the mummy pattern with chest dots that look like the pins that the dancing pallbearers had. The coffin is kind of an afterthought. I didn't want it to look as fancy and detailed as the Pokemon. Black and white looks intimidating with gold and burgundy accents to make it look important and regal. Beware,
I put that on my team.
Coffin, the pallbearer Pokemon, a Ghost Steel type. Coffin are born from the souls of those who embody the spirit of dance. It carries its coffin, which summons music from the underworld. This Pokemon struts at night, dancing to enchanting beats. The music from its coffin knocks listeners unconscious. Coffin is able to feel vibrations from miles away as they resonate inside its metal body. In battle, Coffin will attack using its coffin. It spins around with enough centripetal force to send a Tyranitar flying. Its white sash can extend, wrapping around its opponents too. Its kicks are extremely powerful. This Pokemon is very charitable. It will uplift those who are sad about a lost loved one. They have the abilities Dancer, Steely Spirit, and hidden ability Mummy. It has a signature move called Coffin Dance, a 120 base power physical ghost move that lasts 3 to 4 moves and confuses the user. Basically a ghost version of Thrash. Its shiny showcases a coffin that looks...
So hold on, is it also just like bashing the coffin onto the person's head? Damn.
Similar to the one in the meme. Coffin is my boy. I'm definitely adding it to my region. It's so cool. Dude looks like a JoJo stand. I guess this is the feeling of being proud of a son. I definitely want to make a pre-evolved form in the future, maybe on stream where you guys can watch. Its pre-evolve will look more like a mummy with more of the white patterns around the body.
I can see that. Hold on folks, we'll be right back. And we're back.
And finally, Harambe. More of an icon than a meme. I'm not going to go into the full story of the late Harambe's untimely death, but the point is, after this young and handsome gorilla was killed, the internet honored Harambe in many ways. Immortalizing him as a meme was only the beginning. I want to immortalize him as a ghost Pokemon. Maybe a kind but vengeful spirit. It won't be the first ghost ape in the Pokemon world. Let's pretend like it's a law in the Pokemon world. If an ape dies early, it becomes a ghost. I'm drawing the face of a gorilla skull on an ethereal body. There's no mythical inspiration or biological basis, it's just a rad ghost gorilla. I'm gonna make it pretty realistic and then slowly make it fit more into Pokemon style. I gave it rib designs that eventually became full-on ribs. Its arms are down like it's
Nice.
restraining its anger, but it's still clearly angry for being, you know, killed. It ain't gonna hurt anybody innocent, but it has enough raw power to carry out any vengeful action. I put a hole in its arm to look like the radius in Ulna, but like an idiot, I put it in the bicep instead of its forearm. That'll be fixed later.
Yeah.
Refining it all and finalizing all the bone patterns. It's a cool purple with a blue flame. It's not a fire type because I thought it was too on the nose. This is just ghost ectoplasm, not real fire. Here is Revanape, the Forsaken Pokemon, a ghost type. The spirit of endangered Pokemon manifested into this angry beast. Revanape displays intense aggression for those who have betrayed it, but it never acts on its hatred. In the wild, this Pokemon only uses non-damaging moves. It will only attack another Pokemon during competition. In battle, Revanape will engulf its opponents with its gaseous body and pummel its foe into submission from all directions. It will drag its enemy's soul around. Revanape can expand the holes on its body to dodge attacks. It has the abilities Cursed Body, Anger Point, and Perish Body. Its shiny is the color scheme I would have wanted if it didn't feel right to make it purple and blue. I hope this Fakemon honors Harambe. Please leave a like for Harambe as well, and subscribing would definitely be something he would have wanted you to do. Make sure to check out...
Well folks, that's going to be the end of today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link will be in the description below, so remember to support the others on Create on all they do, and I'll see you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.